I have found the most insane university student confessions ever. And today we're going to rank them. The first tier is good vibes. You know, it's chill. The second tier, which is getting a little bit more intense, is pull over. Maybe just slow down. Take a break. The third tier, which is almost the worst tier, is detained. Someone needs to be taken in for questioning. And the final fourth tier, well, it's the worst tier. See you in court. Someone needs to be punished. And every time we find a confession that belongs in this tier, well, I'm gonna get caned. Let's get into it. Number 1, I slept with my lecturer. This could be a very bad start. Let's call her Mrs. Gray. Mrs. Gray was my first year chemistry lecturer. She was old, but in that kind of MILF way, you know? Do I know? I won't go into detail, but she was fit. She apparently went through a bad divorce, and because of it, stopped teaching halfway through the year. Fast forward 2 years later, and I am now in the 3rd year of my course, and I haven't seen her since. That was until last week. I think I see where this is going. I was out in the city with a couple of friends when we bumped into her at a bar. I was pretty drunk at the time, but we started chatting and hitting it off pretty strongly. One thing led to another, and we were on the dance floor making out. This sounds like I'm reading a pubescent boy's fantasy.
Buy one, get one free.
Huh?
We ended up in the bathroom and we did the deed. Holy sh**. If you're reading this, Mrs. Gray, I hope your life is going well. Well, if she's picking up young men at the bar, I think her life is going pretty well, don't you? Now, the teacher could definitely be put in jail for this, but she is not teaching anymore. I don't know exactly how the law works, but you know, if they're two consenting adults, that's okay. So I think this one goes in the pullover tier. Technically, have you done something wrong? No, but this could potentially cause some issues in the future, I reckon. Number 2, my roommate deserved it. I'm living in a shared apartment with 2 random people at university. I thought it would be a great way to split living costs and make new friends. I couldn't have been more wrong. Well, isn't that a coincidence? I live in a shared apartment, and you know, there's been some ups, and there's been some downs, so this one could be quite relatable. One of my roommates is constantly leaving his shit everywhere, and never cleans up after himself. One night, he had a couple of friends over to play his new PS5 that he got for his birthday. One of his friends brought some beer and ice cream, and they stayed up all night drinking, gaming, and stuffing their face. That is one heck of a combination. I'm all for having friends over, but that was not the thing that bothered me. Turns out my roommate is lactose intolerant, but when he gets drunk, he doesn't give a shit. Well, it sounds like he's about to give many shits, if you know what I mean. I found this out the hard way when I woke up the next morning to go to the bathroom and found diarrhea all over the bathroom floor. I don't think he got any in the bowl. Oh, I recently moved out because of this and took the cords and remotes to his new PS5 with me. You know what? I think that's deserved, to be honest. If he didn't even clean up his own poop, I don't think he would have been very good at cleaning up his other shit. And you know, even though you stole from him, I don't think that is a criminal offense. An eye for an eye. So to the person who wrote this confession, I am so sorry. But in terms of your roommate, personally, that has to be detain worthy. Someone needs to be locked up and learn some manners. Number 3. It's for me. I'm never using Tinder again. Was feeling especially lonely at uni this week, so I downloaded Tinder. I met this guy who wasn't really my type, but I was hungry for some love.
Wait a minute.
You can see me now. We texted back and forth for the next couple of days, and he ended up asking me out for dinner. So of course I agreed. Oh, well, that warms my heart. That's kind of delightful. He turned up at my door the next night and was like, do you want to do it before we go? And me being blinded for the need for affection, I agreed. Okay, things are getting a little weird. 3 minutes later, we finished. Why are these confessions getting kind of relatable? 3 minutes later, we finished. And then he told me he had to go because his dog was sick. Turns out he stole my dad's watch when I wasn't looking, and in return, gave me an STI. Oh dear God. That is not something that I would call a fair trade. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy did a hit and run. Or better yet, he did a hump and run. And he stole from you as well. I don't know if you knew this, but theft is a crime. This person deserves to be put in front of a judge. As my good friend Batman once said, justice must be served. Well, this is gonna bloody hurt. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm gonna go all out on this. There's no holding back. 3, 2, 1. Well, there's the damage. Number 4, my friend hooked up with my ex, so I got with his crush. I think this one's gonna get a little spicy. One of my good mates hooked up with my ex on a night out, and even though I had broken up with this girl a couple of months ago, our friend group has always agreed to never cross that line. I was mad when I found out, but instead of confronting him, I decided to get some revenge. During this guy's 20th birthday party a week later, I pulled out my moves on his crush, who was also at the party. You sly dog, you. Towards the end of the night, me and this guy's crush got some alone time, and I took this this opportunity with both hands. I told her that the birthday boy was talking shit behind her back, saying he was way out of her league. Well, she could definitely do better than that guy, I'm sure. I ended up hooking up with this girl, and she is currently my girlfriend of 2 years. You know what? That's actually quite lovely. It kind of worked out alright, didn't it? And for that, even though these people probably aren't friends anymore, let's put it in the good vibes category. Yeah, good vibes. Number 5. My lecturer is the worst. I hate to say it, but this one could also be relatable. My lecturer is the worst. She's always singling me out for things that I didn't do, constantly telling me to stop talking when the whole class is also talking. Not to mention, she gives me bad grades when I'm clearly doing just as well as everyone else. However, I got her back. Our final assignment required us to write a creative essay about a topic of our choosing, which would then have to be read out to the class. I wrote a fantasy story with the main character having the same name as my lecturer. Oh no. The character is chronically in love with a rolling pin, which ruins her real-life relationships. Are you sure it's because of the teacher that you're getting bad grades? You know what I mean? I read this comedy masterpiece to the class, and my lecturer's face was bright red as the class was exploding with laughter. I still got a bad grade, but oh boy, was it worth it this time. Well, after that, I am questioning whether it was the teacher's fault or not, but calling you out for petty things like that, ugh, I hate people who do that. So for that, I think she deserves to be pulled over. The vibes, not that chill. Number 6, vaping. I found 2 vapes wedged in the crack of my seat during a lecture, probably left behind by someone in the class before mine. I'm against vaping, so I pulled them out and my friend and I took turns sitting on them and farting. Now look, I don't like a lot of things. I don't like waking up early in the morning. I don't like taxes. And to be honest, I don't really like vaping either. But would that be my solution? Probably not. And you said you were sitting on the vapes. What kind of level are we talking about? What I'm trying to ask is this vape going where the sun don't shine? Because if it did, I think you two might enjoy prison more than you might know. Towards the end of class, a guy came to our lecture hall and asked me if I had found any of his lost stuff. I just smiled at him and handed him his butt-flavored vapes. You know, good things could come from this. No, not hepatitis or pink eye. Maybe he starts to dislike the taste of vaping and he stops, and then he goes on to live a longer and more healthy life. That could be a good outcome of this. But did I mention the hepatitis? Yeah. Look fellas, it's not the best solution to your problems, I'm gonna say that much. And if this person does get sick from this, I would feel very bad. So you know what, I'm gonna say you might need to get detained because your methods of getting back at society aren't exactly socially acceptable. Number 7. I don't like the sound of this one. Dead animal. Every Tuesday night, my mates and I hit up our local club. It's always busy, so to not get bored, me and my mates find things in the sidewalk gutter, and we put them in the bags and purses of other people in the line. Each to their own, I guess. Last Tuesday, a mate of mine found the biggest dead rat I'd ever seen. He put it in this chick's hoodie. She screamed and jumped in a panic to try and get it out. What the actual heck? After about a minute, the huge pussy rat fell to the ground, and the victim bawled her eyes out in disgust. The drama got the attention of the bouncers, and my mate is now banned from the club. That is just traumatic, full stop. I am so sorry to the poor girl who thought that she would line up for the club. She thought she'd have a lovely night out with her friends, but it turns out she picked up a rat at the club. And to be clear, I'm not talking about the guys that hang out at the club. And you know, what's that, Batman? He's right. Justice has to be served once again. Luckily for me, I had 2 canes. May the hammers of justice rain down on both you and me. Right on the meat. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh! I broke the cane again. And the final confession is number 8. My classmate got kicked out of university. A classmate of mine got into my computer when I went to the toilet during a lecture. He sent a copy of my research essay to himself and handed it in as his own. That's not good. Luckily, I had built up a good relationship with my teacher, and the issue was resolved. By that, I mean the student who copied my work was forced to withdraw from the course. That, my friend, is a classic case of karma. And I'm gonna put this in the chill vibes category because justice has been served, and I like that. And do you know what else would make me happy? If you liked and subscribed. Here's the final tier list. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. That's all. Bye.